welcome to another exciting episode of Down Home Dirt, the show where we dive deep into the journey of entrepreneurship with those who took the plunge and all the ups and downs that come with it. I'm your host, Dusta, and today we are joined with Bernice Lopes with Carolina Restoration Services.
Hi.
Thank you for coming out today.
Thank you for having us.
I appreciate that. We're out here at the Clayton Chamber of Commerce,
Yes.
downtown Clayton on a Monday. It is hustling and bustling out there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you end up in the Triangle?
Well, I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I moved to North Carolina 14 years ago. I was married at the time, and I stayed home for a couple of years, and then the marriage didn't work, and I decided this was a great state. So I stayed. We stayed with my kids, and little by little, I started moving from Benson, North Carolina to like Willow Spring, all areas until finally I got closer to the Triangle because work, it was in Raleigh, so. Yeah.
I was the opposite. I started in Cary, and then I was in Garner, and then I ended up in Cleveland.
Really?
It was a weird progression. I'm also from Florida, so I feel like Cary really represented where I was from, so it was a great place to get accustomed to North Carolina, and then I had to get out.
Yeah, for me it was culture shock.
Like,
from Puerto Rico to Benson. But we loved it. The reality is that we fell in love with it, and I feel like my kids learned how to play together on their own without the craziness of the city. And Clayton was the perfect balance for that country life and city life. So
I was going to say, it's not like that anymore.
Not anymore.
Now it's more like it's Raleigh.
Now it's like, stop coming.
Please stop visiting. No, keep visiting.
Keep coming.
Don't move. Yeah. No, do move, because, I could help you out with that home cleaning.
Yeah.
We're confused on what we want. It's fine. So let's talk about your journey being an entrepreneur. I know that you had owned the yard card company, so can you share with us a little bit about that?
Yes, so a couple of years ago, on my journey after that divorce, I became financially stable as a single mom, and there was always that thought in my mind, and I'm like, if I can work strategy and help this company growth in terms of profitability and all of that, there's no way why I cannot do that for myself. And it was one of those things that it just fell on my lap unexpectedly. Like, I knew the previous owner of the yard card company. I've known her for years. I know how successful she built that brand. And she just reached out and said, like, hey, there's an opportunity. And I was like, let's sit down. And the numbers make sense. It was something that I was passionate about, all things pretty and just making people feel special. And I decided to jump on it. I didn't thought much of it. It was like, I'm gonna make this work. And there it was, just out of nowhere, like I was an owner.
That is a great story. I feel like that's how a lot of people become an entrepreneur. They're like, it either fell in my lap or I stumbled upon it or it was an accident, and you're like, yes.
I can do this,
Yeah, 100%. That's all me too. I mean, I started mine because I needed to leave a bad relationship. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And it worked out so well because it turns out that I'm really good at cleaning, but that's besides the point. So talking about challenges that you face, what were some of the most significant challenges that you encountered as a business owner, both professionally and personally?
So one of the main ideas behind me buying this company, besides just having something under my belt, was the idea of my kids were almost 18. And I was like, I'm going to set them for the future. So I'm going to buy this company and we're going to grow it, continue to grow it so that it will become their company. So I think my first challenge as an entrepreneur was, and teaching too, that as an owner, you cannot ever find someone that is going to be more committed than you, or that understand the process and what it takes. You can translate that, you can set expectations, but unless they're like fully in and fully committed into it, it's never going to work the same way. So really on into having this company, I found myself having to go do the work. Because I know the type of quality that I want to put it out there, and it was just not matched. And so I learned right into it, like, when it's your business, you have to pour your heart in it. You can have people helping you, but to guide and to explode that vision out there, it has to be yours, and you have to operate it at least until you find that good balance and profit out of it.
And that is something that, as an entrepreneur, I knew going into it, but at the same time, I never realized that, you know, when no one shows up, I'm showing up.
Right.
And so sometimes it falls on you, and then it becomes a little bit overwhelming.
Oh, it was, yeah.
We talked on a podcast before about hiring and how important it is to make sure that you have somebody who sees the vision just like you do,
right.
and how hard that can be, especially because that's not my forte.
Yeah.
So I understand that 100%.
Yeah, and I just couldn't sell it to them, the idea. All that, and it was okay. Like, I needed it to learn that just because it was my dream and my vision, it wasn't theirs. And it was like, well, you know, here I give you an opportunity. You don't want to take it, then I'll just do it myself. So, yes.
I completely understand that. That's kind of where I'm at too with mine. It's been, you know, something I thought, oh, like my daughter would want to take over. I forgot to think about what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that happens as entrepreneurs. We feel like, oh, we're going to build this empire. We're going to have this great thing. And it's going to be yours. And the kids are like, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something else. And I'm like, well, okay.
I know. And it was one of those things that, I don't know about you, but I felt like, man, if someone would have given me this opportunity at 18, I would have just like rolled with it and exploded. But as an entrepreneur too, not everybody has that in their blood, and it's okay. Like, you just have to understand it. Like I said, they're both successful in what they're doing. Yeah.
No, I get that 1,000%. My son, he was 17 at the time, and he's like, I want to get a job, and I was like, I have a job, right? And like, he went to work one time, and he goes, I don't want to do this, and I was like, but we do it at home. He's like, yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. But it took him, you know, going through a program and realizing that what he wanted to do. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Kudos to the kids for figuring that out. Because honestly, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
I know. We're still figuring it out, so.
You know, I think that's like a lifelong thing, honestly. So I know that we both have lupus in common, something that I more recently found out about, mostly because I let it consume me and didn't realize that's what I had. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about your lupus journey.
Okay.
How did you find out that you had lupus? Like, was it symptoms?
Well, yeah, I think it was over a period of 2 years of feeling miserable, and having all the symptoms that were like very radical, and going to the doctor and being an overall healthy person and not being able to find solution or answers, I should say. Everything was like, you're fine, you know, you're super healthy, you're doing this, you're fit. But it went from being able to do Spartan races and CrossFit 5 times a day to not being able to do that, to not being able to hold a plate. And I think it was 2 years to the day that I finally went to the doctor and I said, I'm not leaving this office. Like, I legit said, I'm dying. And we need to figure this out. Either the cancer is back or I'm going to die for something else. And I remember saying, like, I want you to look at my chart. I've never asked for a painkiller or medicine. I legit has been healthy. And now I can't do anything. My life is completely changed. And he took the time and said, okay, well, let's go through it. And I think he went on it just thinking, oh, it's in your head, you're fine, we just have blood. I don't know what he thought I had, but I got a call a day after, and his main thing was he wanted to let me know that cancer was not back, which I was happy.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
But that unfortunately, I was showing signs of lupus. And as hard as it was, because I was not very familiarized with it, it was just a sense of relief of knowing that I'm not crazy, knowing that there's a name for what I'm feeling and I can deal with it. So
I'm only giggling because I went through the exact same process of them telling me there's nothing wrong with you. I even had the doctor tell me that I'm too young for arthritis because I was like, I can't put a bra on, like I cannot move.
Yeah.
And then I fought with her and I said, well, if there is a blood test, we're taking it right now. And
Yeah.
so that's how I actually found out that it was lupus, because she was like, yeah, it's not arthritis. And I'm like, I'm not sure that's better. You know?
Yeah. It's challenging. I mean, I totally understand. I think I went at the end, before knowing or having the diagnosis, it was so lethargic. I just couldn't operate. And I mean, you know me, like I'm so active, And I found myself having to take a nap with it. Like, I'll have lunch and sleep in the car for 30 minutes during my work time. That's how bad it was. So yeah, putting a name on it, it's not great, but it's fantastic at the same time of just like, okay, I can do this, yeah.
It kind of gives you like the opportunity to figure out what you need to do to be more healthy. I feel you in that because I'm not even 40 and I was like, why do I feel like I'm 107?
Yeah.
This is not normal.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't really, it was in my head, just like your doctor. And I was like, I doubt it. My mom had arthritis like her whole life. So I was like, maybe that's it. I almost wish it was that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how living with lupus has influenced your decisions and experiences as a business owner. And were there specific moments when your health impacted your business operations?
Definitely, there were many times in where it impacted my business operation and like work in general. I stopped attending certain things because I just didn't have that energy. So I feel like there was a breach or a gap as to like building some of the relationships. It became so difficult for me to just, sometimes you have 40 yard cards on a night and it was a surprise. So here I am after 8 hours of work going and putting yard cards until midnight, which it was like really, intense. So it definitely, I saw it and I'm like, I don't know that I can continue to do this, right?
It's a lot.
It got to the point of, I'm like, I just couldn't do it no more. How it has influenced it moving forward, I just have to find different balances, right? Like, obviously I do a lot of networking because it's part of what I do on my regular basis, but I make sure that I sleep enough. And some people might make fun of it. Like, oh, okay.
I'm looking at the camera lady.
Yeah, how old are you? But legit, I go to bed at 8:30 p.m. And that I just make sure that I have enough rest. I choose what I want to do and where I want to put my energy into because stress, it's a really hard part of lupus. So I try to avoid unnecessary drama. I try to avoid tables and where they're like charged with energy that I don't need in my life. And believe it or not, even though I do have a lot on my plate, I just try to start to say no to things.
I feel like that's the hardest part, if we're being honest, saying no, because you're young, you're fit, you want to go do things, and I'm not fit. She is, but that was my whole thing too, and I've gotten a lot more not fit just because I can't move off the freaking couch. I had to get a couch. All right, it's a bed couch in my living room.
So that I feel you. Yeah.
And I had to paint the house. Like, I don't know about you, but I have to deal with photosensitivity. Lights, the fluorescent lights, I can't handle it. So my entire house had to be painted dark. I put tent on the windows, I can't.
And with that comes depression too, like when you're in dark places. So I totally feel you. And I hope that you're like, getting to start feel better soon, so.
Thank you, I'm trying.
Yeah.
Gotta see that doctor first. That's the hardest obstacle, I think, too. Did you have a support system in place while you were managing your business and your health?
Here it is.
You sound like me.
No, I want to say that my husband, before I knew that it was lupus, it was so drastic that I think everybody in my family was very concerned, including my children that were still at home. And my husband as well, I had to, they knew that I couldn't grab stuff, and they were, always trying to help, which I think it put stress on them as well, especially not knowing. I think they were more concerned about what's wrong with mom, she's really, sick for her to be doing this. So, I want to say that for the most part, just the way I am, I just needed to take control of it, and I knew that if I wanted it to move forward, I had to make some changes, that it was going to involve me directly. But I will have to say that, yes, they were very helpful. If there were certain times in where I said, listen, mom cannot be here. They were receptive, and they were helpful to that sense.
And that's very important. I also a single parent, so I completely understand that.
Yeah.
And there was days I couldn't get out of bed, and I was like, I'm sorry, and we did a lot of ordering out, which is how I ended up gaining a bunch of weight, because I just couldn't stand in the kitchen.
Now, I would say too, and this is in general, but with my family too, I remember, and maybe a year ago when I was still flaring up, I remember thinking like, they probably think I'm faking it. Because with lupus, this is us. And we look great.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Well, it's fantastic. And we're dying inside, and there are times that you don't want to be there, you're hurting, but people can't see it. It's not like when you have the flu that it's obvious that you're sick, or if you have cancer, like, you go to therapy, like people know, or you do chemo and all that. It's all internal. So there were many times that I'm like, they probably think, and I remember a couple times saying like, do you guys realize that I am sick? I don't look sick, but I get really sick. So yeah.
No, I'm with you on that. My daughter, I asked her the other day, I was like, hey, did you notice that I'm feeling better? And she's like, I'm not sure if it's your mental illness or not. And I'm like,
Go.
you know what? We'll just take that. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I was feeling better. I got up and I cooked everything in the house, and then I couldn't do anything for 2 days. And I'm like, thank God we have food.
Yeah.
It's the best. Back. So let's talk about some work-life balance. One of the things that I feel like is really hard for entrepreneurs. So how did you balance the demands of entrepreneurship with the needs to prioritize your health? And did you implement any specific practices?
Yes, many. I'll start with, I needed it to figure it out what amount of time I was going to dedicate to owning a business versus what my life at home and at work it is. And I was very intentional as to like whether I'm doing anything for my company or if I am taking any clients. In terms of what I have implemented, I will say that I start the morning with an attitude of gratitude. That's the first thing. I meditate for 10 minutes. And then I try to read at least a book. I don't read it every morning, but I started to do 10 minutes a day. And besides that, I have 1 hour of workout that it's non-negotiable. Like I sat down and I said, this is my time. I don't have a phone. I don't have a husband. I don't have a kids. I don't work for anyone. It is my hour, and I do it for myself. Those are the things that energize me and allowed me to prioritize on my well-being and my physical being. And other than that, I have been very, very strict as to diet because of COVID, because of lupus, and remove things from it that just allow me to have more energy and feel better.
That was really hard for me. I'm going to be honest, because when they started out, she was like, no potatoes. You can't have any kind of nightshades because that does inflammation. And I was like, cool, that takes out 90% of my diet. Perfect. Yeah. And then it switched over to gluten. Are you gluten-free as well?
Yes. To me, it was like, okay, what can I eat? I guess I'm eating raw vegetables all day.
Yes, and oatmeal. It's like the only thing you can eat. I eat so much oatmeal, it's ridiculous.
So yeah, with me, I was I cut all sugars, which it was hard for me in terms of sodas. I was addicted to Coke my entire life, so I removed that from my diet completely. So I only drink water and wine. That is my sugar. And then gluten. I try to avoid gluten. I've gotten to the point after a year and a half in where I feel comfortable. Like if you make a lasagna, I can eat a piece and then I'll pay the price if I have to pay the price. But then I go back to my regular diet.
No, I understand that because that's me too. Because I love pizza. And they're like, you can't have pizza. And I was like, are you serious?
Yeah. Well,
no.
You can have pizza, pasta. You can have milk. You can have cheese. I'm like, okay. But
what do I eat? Carrots. Just carrots.
And broccoli.
And broccoli. Yeah. I know. I ate a lot of Brussels sprouts, and my doctor's like, why?
Yeah.
And I was like, because I like them.
I like
it's
them
the only
too.
vegetable
I
I
love
like.
them. Yeah. Cottage cheese. I mean, it's like, my diet changed completely. And I incorporate the meats now. I was not supposed to, I don't know about you, but they told me no red meat.
Yeah. They told me fish and chicken.
So I don't
turkey.
eat fish.
You don't eat fish?
I don't eat any fish.
That's
I might eat like sea or tuna here and then, but that's it. So to me, it was like chicken and turkey. And then I remember when he said, it's not that you can't eat a steak. You just should not eat a steak every day.
Oh, darn.
So just leave that, right, and just leave that for special occasions, and that's what we do now.
That's amazing. I've been a turkey and chicken person my whole life, not really been a fan of red meat, but as soon as they told me I couldn't eat it for some reason, I wanted to eat nothing but that.
Exactly.
And I was like, great. I never realized I liked it that much, but I don't obviously do it because that pain is just it's not fun. I don't like it. No, thank you. So before the break, we were talking a little bit about your consulting company. Can we talk a little bit more in detail about that?
Yes. So, like I was explaining before, I mean, over the years, I'm like, okay, so I'm helping all these companies making money. I have proven to be successful as to strategizing and growing a market and putting strategies in place just to be profitable in different verticals. That I was like, you know what? It started saying, I don't want to sell forever. I understand the demands of the job as you become older. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, ultimately, this is what I want to do. I want to help other smaller startup companies just develop their marketing strategy or their sales strategy in it. And my goal was to 5 years. I always said when I'm 50, this is what I want to do. And then an opportunity, I was talking to someone, opportunity came, and I said, well, let's do this for 6 months. And it worked. And that got me to a second client. And I've been doing it now for 2 years. I don't promote it fully because I do have a full-time job. And it is not something that I want to do full-time right now, but I have been able to assist some startup and small companies just to develop those strategies.
That is amazing. I love hearing that, especially because one of the things I feel like is really hard as an entrepreneur is knowing when to pivot. Yeah. And it sounds like you identified it and was like, now we've got to do it.
Yeah. And now it's just building, I'm getting some certifications, some extra stuff just to prep for that time. And in the meantime, if someone reached out to me and say, I sit down with them and I say, well, this is what I can do for you at this scale. And if it works for them, then we do it.
That's amazing. I love it. I love marketing companies. I'd always wanted to own one. I don't know anything about marketing though. I just want to own it so I could be in the know, Yeah.
No, it's fun.
That's great. We're going to have you come back on in a year and see if where you're at, because it's what I'm trying to do is make sure that anyone who told me something in the first.
Let's stick to it. Yeah.
Come back and tell us what happened.
Awesome. We'll do.
So let's talk about lessons learned, because I feel like as an entrepreneur, we're always learning new lessons. So what are some key lessons that you learned from your entrepreneurial journey that you wish you had known when you first started?
Let me think. I think having a business plan, it's sometimes we take for granted, the process of it and the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. I think that we have it in our mind and we see the vision, and it's hard to translate and put it into paper. But long term, at scale, you want to make sure that you have a full plan in place. I wish that I would have known that. At least the first time, as to okay, how can I pivot? How can I change it? Do I have time to, do certain things? How much marketing money I'm going to put towards growing it? That's one. I think, as I mentioned, I wish that I would have had a mentor on entrepreneurship that have told me before you go in, and your plan, for example, is to give this company to your children, you should make sure that this is something that they want. We made it work for what it is, but I think those are two of the hardest. Teaching, besides you work 24/7, and sometimes people think, I'm gonna own a company and I'm just gonna.
No.
Well, no, that is not the case. No. You're gonna work harder than you have ever worked in your entire life.
Yes, I agree with you on that. One of the things that I love about being an entrepreneur is I have total control over my time, essentially. Right. But at the same time, I kind of don't have control over my money, and that's kind of frustrating, right?
It is.
And so it's I feel like it's juggling. Yeah. I love juggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. And talking about the business plan, that is actually really important, because I'm going to be honest, when I started mine, there was really no actual business plan. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I later realized when I went to the Small Business Center in Johnson County, is that they were like, what's your business plan? I was like, to make money.
Here it is.
I just make the money. I do the work.
Houses.
Yeah, that's all I have. And they were like, try again. Yeah. So it was a really great benefit to me to be able to go there and develop all that. And just networking with other business owners in town, I started realizing it needs to be
more structured.
Yeah. It can't just be make money and then that's it.
Money, yeah.
So I was like, maybe I need a little bit more help.
And there's a lot of, I love seeing now, especially in our communities, that there's so many resources available now versus 2-4 years ago, as to someone that wants to put a company together and start a business and help them achieve that. So
I agree. That's why a lot of the things that we do on this podcast is resources. And one of them that I love is the fact that the Clayton Chamber of Commerce has the STEP program.
Yes.
So you guys should check that out.
Yes.
I definitely need to become a student of it, so I'm going to be honest.
We all.
Right? Like, keep learning. So let's talk about defining success. How has your definition of success evolved over time, especially in light of the health changes?
Well, I think like a lot of people, so I think success is a byproduct of the things that you do consistently to get you there. I think that sometimes people get confused as to like, ooh, I had a great month, now I'm successful, right? But you don't become right. You don't become fully successful until you have consistently achieved those goals. You have put the work, and now you are creating a network that is just, and it's not to say that you can sit back, but now you have created a persona around of yourself. I also feel like success for me is not defined. I should say I am driven by challenge. I excel under pressure. So for me, success is like how good and how great I can do all of these things that I am passionate about. And in the same sense, I went to a seminar not too long ago that made me question myself personally when they said, you can't be fully successful professionally if you're not successful in the inside.
Ooh, that hurt. Sorry, guys.
What that means is, ooh, I'm great, I'm hitting all the numbers, but how's my life, my personal life, my relationship with my kids, with my family? Do I feel balanced as to what I'm doing? Am I healthy? Am I taking the time just to grow personally and become a better person as a friend? Am I using my experience to teach others? And it took a minute just to say, okay, there are certain things that I need to stop. And there are certain things that I should be investing myself more as to mentoring other people, as to like presenting and just use my wisdom or my learning as an opportunity for someone else to learn it. So to me, I didn't become successful until I figured out a way to balance both. A way to say I'm living my best life here because I'm plenty.
Yeah.
And then I'm making it at work too. So
listen, word on the street is you're below.
I am below.
I saw that and I was like, I love this so much.
It just clicked one day, and it's like, yeah, I'm below, and it's funny just sometimes here, and people call me. Actually, my consulting firm is like Below Consulting.
I love this.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
She is always living her best life, guys. She knows the best places to dine and hang out, whether it be in Clayton or Raleigh. So I follow her just for those things. Yeah. I'm always like, have you been there? Oh, she's been there. Okay, I'm going to go there now. Yeah. Always eating really good food.
Thank you.
That was one of the biggest things that like kind of took a toll when I found out at Lupus. They're like, yeah, you have to watch what you eat. And I was like, watch it, go in. Like,
exactly. Let me watch what I'm eating.
I was like, yeah, it looks good. It's fine. So let's talk about post-business life. After stepping away from your business, what reflections do you have about your time as an entrepreneur, and what do you miss the most and what do you not miss?
Well, I was really glad to have shifted and sold the company when I did. Because for one, it have grown exponentially like after, and I love seeing my dreams and my vision come to fruition with someone that is fully invested. Mm-hmm. I have missed it because, it's like, it's something that legit make me happy. Like I put so much energy into like, oh my God, it looks great. It's something that I will like it. But I've grown as to like, listen, opportunities arise in life and you have a choice to either take it or not. You can either sit and dwell on it, on the why. What if I would have done it? Versus like, I did it, it worked. And when I knew that I couldn't devote the time that I wanted, it was the right thing to do, just to move away from it and let someone else take that. So, yeah.
I think that's great. Just for reference, I had the yard card company come out and do a yard card for my daughter's birthday, and it was raining. And the thing was like flopping and the tape wasn't sticking, and they came and checked on it every single day that I had it out there to make sure that it was good. So the quality is still amazing to this day.
They have managed and make upgrades and things that I didn't have the time to do it, and they have created a process that I didn't even have a vision for it. And it's great to see it.
Yes.
It's great to see someone like, I could have done that, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me there, and that's the journey that it takes you. There'll be maybe another thing in the future.
Ooh, I'm excited. You're gonna have to come back and tell us everything, because I'm really jazzed about this.
Yes.
And like I said, it was great quality. And one of those things that I'm having a hard time with my company is like, I have this vision and I want it to look like this, but I don't have the support to make it happen. And so I'm willing to sell it to someone else to have them bring their vision to life.
Yes.
And sometimes we're like very emotionally attached to our business, because like, oh, it's my
It's
baby.
your baby. Yeah, you
but
grow it. Yeah.
just like children, they're going to leave home someday. So
And you let it go and you learn.
you do. And you take those lessons with you to your next adventure.
Yes.
So that's a really good thing.
Yep.
I love the lessons that I've learned being an entrepreneur. And just in the small time that I've been here in Clayton, I've learned a lot more than I could have ever in my previous.
I think maybe because we're such a tight, smaller community when you compare it to like a Cary or a Raleigh. And it's so diverse, and there's a lot to learn from that. But you keep it here and you have like different minds and shift. And I personally love to learn. So I love to like listen to people and say, you know what, she's right. And I also love and I'll tell you this, and it's a compliment to you. I remember when I saw you starting your company and seeing a growth, and seeing some people being successful and move from one stage to the next. To me, that's like amazing. I love seeing
Thank
it.
you.
I love seeing your growth, and I think you're doing fantastic at what you're doing. So.
Well,
Kudos.
thank you so much. I learned so much, which is why I started the podcast. I wanted to be like, hey guys, I have learned a lot, and you should too. Maybe take a shortcut for someone else, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Which is great. So listen up, guys. The education is free as long as you pay attention.
Exactly.
So let's talk about advice for others, since we're on this subject. Okay. What advice would you give to an aspiring entrepreneur who may be managing chronic health conditions like lupus? I know that's a tough one.
It's a tough one because on one hand you want to say go for it.
Yeah.
And in the other one it's like, are you ready for it? And I think that both go hand in hand, right? There's some people that are high risk takers. I am not one of it. I'm a calculated risk taker. So I will say, yes, I'm willing, I'm greedy, I'm gonna go for it, but I need to sit here and at least I have to have some control. Versus other people that are like, yeah, go for it. I mean, I love you, great. I can't. But I guess my best advice is like, if you have the opportunity and it's big in your heart, that is the main thing you need. Just go for it. Second, and no, it's not going to be easy. Understand that. You're going to fail, you're going to learn, and you're going to get up every time. As long as you're willing to do the hard work, you're going to be successful at it. I think those are the...
No, that's true. And also making sure that you take time for yourself and managing your conditions and making sure that you know what you can handle. I went from being able to clean 3 houses a day to I can barely do 2, but I know that about myself now.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And
understanding your needs too, it's huge. Because then you don't overextend yourself just so that you can give the best to your product or your company. Yeah.
Absolutely. Making sure that quality stays up there, even if you have to change your hours. But
Pivot.
that's the joy about being an entrepreneur. You can change it.
You can pivot at any time.
So I think, I'm not going to say it's easier to manage a chronic health condition, be an entrepreneur. I just think that there is more room for you to be able to.
Yes, definitely.
So that would be
from an 8 to 5 p.m. Absolutely.
Yes. So, redefining your goals. How have your personal and professional goals changed since leaving your business, and what new aspirations do you have moving forward?
Well, I'll start with this. I learned a long time ago that I only set 3 goals for myself. I feel like as human, we tend to be like, okay, I want to do da 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 da, and then we don't know how to focus, and it just became a
I'm being
to-do
called out.
list. Yeah. Well, I'm going to teach you something here.
Yeah.
So I learned that it's easier just to keep it managed and say, you might want to have 10 things, but this year, let's just focus on 3. And normally, I try to keep 2 of those in a professional level and 1 in a personal level. For example, I said, this year, I wanted to be able to compete in a 5K just to prove myself physically that I still can do it. Well, I did it. I prepped for it. And then professionally, it was like, well, what do I need? I need 3 markets that I need to hit or whatever that is. I just keep it at 3, and it's easier to feel accomplished versus having a list of 10 and you only do 3, and now you're hard on yourself because you didn't finish.
Oh,
You didn't reach all of your goals.
So 3 goals
to focus on.
to focus
You
on.
can have 10, but we're going to focus on 3.
So it sounds like writing it down and making
Yes.
sure what's priority is where I need to
Yes.
start.
So December 30, I sat down. I go and do an analysis of the year, and I do this with my children too on a personal level. And then I said, what am I going to do next year? And those are my 3.
I'm going to have to come
Yes.
over. So December 30th,
Yeah,
writing
December
it down.
30, put
All right,
it down, and
we're
that's
gonna do
you
it.
like, you just put it on a vision board. As to what's next, I think that I'm trying to, because of marketing and it's so diverse, just to gain some knowledge in certain areas, digital, AI, just to prep and add to my resume and my skills. Mm-hmm. So that's huge for next year. That's what we're doing. I don't think there's going to be a lot of movements in terms of new companies or new ventures. I'm just going to keep plateauing. I'm just going to focus next year on educating myself.
I think that's really important that you A, recognize that, and B, that you're going for it, because that's something that as an entrepreneur I've always been growth focused, and then there's those times where you don't and you're not okay with it, and you need to be okay with it because that is your time to educate yourself.
Yeah.
And I never really put that together. So
Yeah.
much like everyone else who's listening, I'm learning as we're doing the podcast.
Yeah, and we're learning. Yeah.
And I feel like like you were saying, you never stop learning. I never stop learning. So I'm going to make sure I write down my goals
Yes.
and do a check-in every 6 months to make sure that I'm okay with them.
And you're in track. And it's the thing too with goal setting is, I mean, I can tell you, I have a goal of buying a house for 5 years. Every year, I will put it back again. But let's stop being so hard with ourselves. Mm-hmm. You're working towards it. It could be a financial situation. It could be a time situation. It could be a market situation. But if you don't reach a goal, just understand that it doesn't mean you won't get it. It just means not now.
That is the hardest part.
And it is really hard because you're like, man, I'm working so hard. Why can't I get it there? It just means that not yet. As long as you're committed and you're being consistent and you know that you're giving it your all, that's all you can do. You have to be graceful with ourselves.
Absolutely. That is something as an entrepreneur sometimes
It's
we don't
hard.
do. It's very hard. And just as a person in general, you're
Yeah.
like, I could be better. I should be. Well, could and should, whatever, but this is where we're at. Let's work with
know.
that.
Yeah.
I had a therapist once tell me you have to meet people where they are, and sometimes you have to leave them there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's okay. That explains a lot. So I have to meet yourself there too.
And that's where I am. This is what I can do this year, and we'll try again.
So giving yourself enough grace. Give yourself
Yes.
the amount of grace you would give someone else.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This is great advice, guys. Speaking of that, talk about self-care practices. Are there any specific self-care practices that you prioritize to help you manage both the professional and the business life and maintain your overall well-being?
Yes, I think from all the things that I try to do on a consistent basis, I will always say take an hour for yourself. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you want to go CrossFit or you want to go walk. I don't care if it's yoga. I don't care if it's Pilates that it's in right now. Just choose something that makes you happy. Maybe it's going on a picnic and sit down and talk to God or whoever you want to talk to. But just be very selfish and give yourself an hour of the day for yourself. And then 2, the way you start the day is going to set the intention of how the day is going to end. So always start the day with an attitude of gratitude. Trust me that there's people that will wish to be in our position. There has to be something in your life, as hard as it is, you're going through a hard season with lupus. I did too. But I can tell you that even in those hard moments, there was something to be grateful. And when you start that time, the beginning of the day, the energy, and you say, oh my God, thank you because I have health. I mean, sometimes I'm like, thank you for spring and the birds. For real.
I think for coffee every morning.
Yeah, right. But you will keep finding, if you create that time for yourself in the morning, you're going to keep finding things that you are really grateful for. And that's going to help you put the energy to give it back. Put that energy back.
No, I agree 1,000% because it was one of those things that I wake up and I'm like, man, if I was myself 10 years ago, I would absolutely not be like this, not be okay. It's like, yeah, I'm in pain. I can't get up, whatever. But my career is okay. Yeah. I'm not forcing, a little backstory. I used to work at Pizza Hut as a shift leader, right? Yeah. One of the best jobs I ever had. And the only reason why is because I loved going in, prepping all the food. I got my gym workout put in the freezer away. I lost so much weight. And then I had staff that came in and just kind of managed it. Yeah. And it was great. The pay was terrible. Yeah. Absolutely terrible. I had 2 kids, single parent, no child support. I was like, well,
how are we going to make it?
Yeah. Exactly. And so now here I am owning a whole business. I don't even work 20 hours a week. I'm just putting that out there. Now that I'm thinking about, now I'm being grateful for what I have.
But it is.
Yeah, because I could be in a worse position. I could be stuck in a job that I can't get out of, and I can't do anything about it because of my finances.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to start waking up every morning, looking at my goal sheet.
Yes.
Making sure that I'm saying that I'm grateful for everything that happened, and then making sure that I check in every 6 months.
Yes, and it is really hard, by the way, to create that routine. My suggestion is, and as someone that is active in social media, I tell you that it's hard, but that means that I don't see my Facebook, my Instagram, not even my emails for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's really hard.
Because that's going to force you. You make your coffee, and that takes 10 minutes. And then as you sit to go into, you have 20 minutes, and you force it. And trust me that you'll be like... And then today, I'm grateful for blah, 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 and okay, I'm ready, But you will get there. You will get it to the point that it'll just create a routine. And another advice, this is really good advice, a mentor gave me this. Do always the hard thing first in the morning. For example, you have a hard email that you have to send. And normally, when it's something that it could be an employee, it could be a client, it could be something that it's just really hard. We tend to procrastinate because we don't want to face it.
She's calling me out today, guys. I just want you to know. I know who told her.
I've been there, so I know. So what this person told me is get it over with. That way you have a great day after that. It's in the past, you did it, you dealt with it, and now you can concentrate on everything else. Besides being like, oh my God, I have to do that email. And then lunch, oh my God, I have to do that email. Next day, I have to do that email. No, set it in, do it. If it is invoicing, for example, or someone that owes you, I don't know what
someone
it is,
that owes you money.
just do it right away. In the morning. That's one of the first thing that I do. And then after it, I'm like happy camper, just doing Facebook posts. I don't know. Videos.
Right. I love your videos. It's always very entertaining, but also I'm learning a lot about cooking things that I can actually eat and not feel like crap.
Yeah. And I think that was my main thing is okay, this is something easy. We're in my home. We're not going to be, I'm not Martha Stewart. Obviously I'm not getting paid for this. So it's you can make this and this is who I am. So thank you.
No, that's great. And I appreciate it. I know there's people out there that also appreciate it because fighting this, I don't want to say fighting it. What is it? Managing this disease it's hard. Very hard. And to feel like you're not alone and to be like, okay, look, someone else can only eat the same things I can eat. Cool. Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not the best cook in the world. So when it comes so when it comes to that, I'm like, I learned about adobo. Let me just tell you.
Did you buy it?
Of course I did. I drown everything in there.
That's the way to do it.
It is. I agree. And I'm like, gotta get the low sodium one. That's not the best. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta.
You'll manage a little bit. And then,
I'm like, but I love it. I love seasoning. And I'm learning more about that because I come from My mother was a terrible cook, and she just put salt and pepper and meat tenderizer on everything, and I was like, this tastes crap. Yes. And I was like,
I know, I got a little bit of track. And you know, in my videos, sometimes it's silly and I say certain things because I do get messages from people saying all kinds of things. Nothing like super ugly, but like, did you wash your hands? And I'm like,
No.
This is my kitchen, my meat. You know, but also like the seasoning. I said in one of my videos, like the worst thing that you can do is like have a pork chop with no season. And someone's like, are you calling? Like, and I was like, I'm not calling anyone. If you felt that was for you, then you need a double.
Lace it up.
You need a double in your life.
That's me. I'm always like watching these cooking videos, and I'm like, it has to be somebody with culture, because if I'm watching like Martha Stewart, I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat that.
Yeah. And I love Martha Stewart.
Oh, we love her,
Yeah.
but so. And we're back. I have to do that so I can cut it. All right, so last question is about your legacy and impact. We know we talked a lot about leaving stuff for our children, but it's a little bit beyond that. So what legacy do you hope to leave behind from your time as a business owner, and how do you want to be remembered in your industry?
Definitely when I think about legacy is, did I give back everything I received? Instead of focusing on what I need, am I giving enough that those right things are going to come my way? So I definitely want to be remembered as someone that is a connector. I want to help as many people as I can with my knowledge, even if, you know, without being monetizing from it, but just being resourceful. I want them to say, well, Bernice always help me and give me a hand when I needed it. Or Bernice was someone that I can pick up the phone and call and I have a question and I know that she was going to be there. Definitely that's in my industry. I want to feel like I am an ambassador for what I do. And I want people to feel comfortable just to be able to come back to me. In terms of business and entrepreneurship, I want to be remembered someone that it was successful and was able to put strategies in place just to help others grow. So,
No, that's a great legacy.
yes.
I don't know how I want mine to be remembered, but it's not by the cleanest toilet. So I've got to work on that. She's got a great answer. I did not.
But that starts like that.
That's perfect. So do you want to tell everybody where they can find you if they need you?
Yes, like I said, I'm Bernice Lopes. I work with Carolina Restoration Services. We are the best property restoration services in North Carolina. And you can definitely find me on my cell phone, 919-219-2506. I'm 24/7 available. Or you can find Bernice Reynolds, not Lopez, even though I'm Lopez, Bernice Reynolds in Facebook. And just connect with me.
Well, thank you so much for doing this podcast today. I appreciate it.
Thank you
I had a lot of
for having
fun.
me. Yes.
And I can't wait for you to come back in about a year.
Yes.
If
And
not
let's
less.
talk about,
And let's talk about what happened.
let's talk about my education, where I am, and all that good stuff.
Oh, exciting, guys. All right, well, stay tuned for another exciting episode of Down Home Dirt.
Thank you. Good job.